I'm going to be reviewing the AlgoVision Premium CRT Candle Range Theory Indicator. So I'm just going to go through some of the filters right here, and then we'll go into the actual calls that it gave over the last 2 months, 2 or 3 months. I forget what time period I have this on and what I have it optimized for, but it is a 1 hour chart that we're going to be using. So let's get into it. So the plot up here is just essentially stuff to plot. So it won't plot the purge time, so that will be when candle 1, the high or low of candle 1 is hit. So again, if you don't know what CRT is, I recommend looking into it a little bit, but it's where you have one candle, the high is hit by candle 2, so there's a wick on candle 2, and it closes below the high of candle 1. So then you would be anticipating, because it couldn't break out of the range that candle 1 formed, that it's going to go lower. So you anticipate the midpoint and the low of candle 1 being hit. And then same thing with the bullish signal, is you have this candle 1, the second candle purges the low but closes above, and then you anticipate a move higher in candle 3. So that is what candle range theory is. And again, if you don't completely understand it, I would look into it. There's a lot of great videos out there. However, our strategy is based off of that. So the plotting, so it takes away the entry. Our entries are based off of a lower time frame entry. So it gives an entry price and signal, and that's what the strategy uses to enter off of, so these prices. So right here, for example, it got a bearish signal. It took an entry at this triangle right here, which is our 5-minute entry price, so 77.056, and then it took profit at the low of candle 1. So that is our entry. You could plot bullish and bearish. That'll just take the bullish or bearish signal off your screen. So all these bearish ones right here, they'll just take that off your screen, and all the bullish words will just come off of your screen. The match indicator candle with the signal, this filter right here gets rid of trades where the candle 2 does not line up with the trade direction. So for example, it's calling this one still right here because it's a bearish signal and candle 2 is bearish. Then it's calling this one still right here because it is a bullish setup and candle 2 is bullish. So they need to align with what direction it's giving the signal in. The take profit already reached will filter out ones where the midpoint was already hit. So remember that bearish setup we just showed right here? Because candle 2 already closed below and already hit the midpoint of candle 1, it gets rid of the signal because your first take profit level was already hit, so it gets rid of the signal. So that is what that one does right there. Midnight, it will only show longs below midnight opening price of that day, and it will only show shorts above midnight opening price of that day. Wickout prevention, this does not work in backtesting data on TradingView because of how they store their data. However, if you do use it live on a strategy for like automating the CRT indicator, if you were to automate it with a firm, it does work. You will not get wicked out if the lower time frame does not close below your or above your stop loss. So you can't get wicked out if in live trading. However, just how TradingView stores the data, they only store open, high, low, and close. It will not work in the backtesting correctly. You could filter out buys and sells for like a bias. So like if you only wanted to short one day, it will only show shorts on the day or whatever time period you have defined. And it will only show longs if you were only bullish on that time period you have defined. And then you can put both back on. Stop loss, you could do a certain dollar amount stop loss. So for Bitcoin, it would be relative to the price of Bitcoin. So like if you wanted a $100 stop loss and not the actual technical stop loss. If you wanted ones where the stop loss was only $100 away or less, then you would put this filter on. But I don't want any on here for now. The optimized take profit. So if TP1 was already reached and you don't have this filter on, then it will go to TP2. It won't take any trades where TP1 was already hit. It won't take profit at TP1. The optimized. The TP1 is the midpoint of candle 1, and then the TP2 is the opposing end of candle 1. Low time frame entry, so this is the time frame entry you want to enter off of. So like in 1 hour, I recommend like a 5-minute or a 1 minute. A 4 hour would be like a 5 or a 15 minute, and then like a daily would be like a 15 or a hourly entry. The enable minimum distance from stop loss to entry, so that's what the distance from stop loss to entry should be. So like, for example, if you had like a $20 stop loss on a trade, it's likely to get hit with something like Bitcoin because of how much it moves and how small $20 move is on Bitcoin. So it would be likely to get hit. So you might want to filter out trades where your stop loss is so tight to your entry that it's likely you're going to get stopped out. The risk management portion, you can enable a fixed quantity of Bitcoin to buy or sell, so it will only take shorts with 1 Bitcoin contract, so that is 1 Bitcoin. The risk to reward ratio, this is a good one because it will only show setups and only take setups where the risk to reward is at least a 2. The risk type, you could do a fixed amount or a percent of an account. So the fixed amount right now that we have it set up as a fixed amount. It's risk $1,000 per trade. Right here, and then you could do a percent of the account, but you have to click that, and then you could put the percentage there you want to risk of the account. This one is pretty simple. You filter out days of the week. For example, low of the week is probable, or high of the week is probable on a bearish week. Low of the week is probable on a bullish week between Sunday to Wednesday, excuse me. So you might want to, if you have a trading plan that follows something like that, or like a Power 3 concept, you can filter out specific days. Monday's kind of a ranging day, so you could filter that one out if you wanted. The 4-hour liquidity sweep times, let's go to that real quick. So right here, we need to correct this a little bit because of daylight savings. However, see. Here's an example. So here is a bearish setup. So I'm going to mark candle 1's high and low. Then let's go down to a 15-minute. We'll do the 5-minute entry so it's still there. It must have not had a 15-minute entry show up. Okay, so this one right here. Let's go down to a 5-minute. So it said the purge time was 6:55. So because of daylight savings, this is an hour behind. This is showing. However, we will have it corrected, when the code is finalized. However, everything's finalized with the code. There's just some there's some aspects as far as visual aspects that we still need to correct, such as that. So purge time was set 6:55. It's showing 5:55 right here. So that is the time that the high or low of candle 1 is purged. So you can input these for the specific 4-hour candles. So like the 8, which candle would this one be? This would be the 12 p.m. candle. So this is this one right here. Is it this one? What time do we start at? 11 p.m.? Sorry, excuse me. It's the 12 a.m. candle. I thought this was 11 a.m. Excuse me. So 12 a.m. candle. So we have it defined in here that it will only show ones where the purge happened between 6:30 a.m. and 7 a.m. So this is going to be an hour behind. So it's between 5:30 a.m. to 6 a.m. So see how the purge occurred at 5:55. So it would be in our criteria for when the purge has to occur. And the way that this is best used is where there are key manipulation times. So like, for example, 9:30 when the stock market opens, there's key manipulation there. So it makes setups higher probability if your purge time aligns with a key manipulation time. So we marked out all the 4-hour candles, and you can play around with them yourself. Like there's London session open at 3 a.m. 3 a.m. New York. and you can play around with it. This is all in New York time, so you can play around with it however you like. Whatever you find the best setups with, you can filter out, and then, for example, you could just set a signal, and it will only show CRTs within your criteria. And that's the best thing about our indicator. You don't have to look at the charts. It will only show CRTs within your criteria. The 1 hour candle times is pretty simple. It's just if you find there's higher probability setups, so like for example 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m., there's a lot of movement because that's when the stock market opens. You can filter in or out these specific times that these candles open. So that is how this one works. You could filter out, like, if you don't think that the 1 a.m. candle is a high probability setup or gives high probability setups for CRT at least, you can filter it out with this portion right here. You have to enable it as well. And then this right here is just your start and end date as far as the data goes for your back testing. So that is the paid indicator. Again, it's based off of CRT in the 3-candle model, and you can get it at algovisiontrading.com. Check it out. It's definitely something that is beneficial because you don't even have to look at charts now. You can just set it up however you want, look at the backtesting data for it. You can check out if it's even going to be profitable, how you set it up, right? Before you start trading with it. And then if it is profitable, you can set alerts for it, or we will in the future have a automation aspect where you can just automate it for your account. So yeah, check it out at algovisiontrading.com. If you have any questions, you could join our Discord, and we'll get back to you.